is going on, everyone? Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Lentini Lindbergh. Uh, got a fun little replay here for you guys. I know I've featured this shit before. Today we're playing in the Benham American Tier 9 DD. I'm here, Div, with Rad and Miss Riley. Happy belated birthday to Riley. But yeah, looking at the lineup here. I'm against an Elbing and two Fletchers. They have an Edgar and a Stalingrad for radar, potentially with the Edgar, but probably not. And then with the Stalingrad. And then looking here, Satsuma, Ohio, Siguri. So, doing okay there from a standpoint of destroyers that I'm against here. If we take a quick look here, Venom 5.8 detect. Torps that go out to 10.5, and really quick reloading torps. Looking at Rad's camo there, he hasn't played that boat in a while. We were talking about the Tyson, if any of you guys remember that one from back in the day. Gonna boost up here. It's me and Riley in DDs. Riley's in a Yugumo, and Rad is, as mentioned before, in the Dyson. Slightly a double down tier here for us. I do want to just say, this boat's so easy to play. It's ridiculously easy, and that's kind of why I'm going to feature this here. It's just stupidly easy. And I even make mistakes in this because I'm joking around with chat about how easy it is to play this particular boat. We're going to have a good game, and all I'm going to do here is do typical Torp boat stuff. It's honestly kind of brain dead gameplay. So, but at least highlighting the impact that, if you're a destroyer player, sometimes it's not best to just rush in right away. And I'm taking a little bit of a wide stance here. The only reason why I'm kind of doing it this way, from a gunpoint standpoint, I'm a little bit worried about the Elbing. And again, as mentioned, I don't know if their Edgar is going to have radar or not. That would absolutely rip me apart, as well as, getting spotted by the Stalingrad. I just put some speculative torps up there, thinking that there could be a DD there, coming through. A lot of the times there will be. There's the Edgar, so right now I'm thinking, well, is that a smoke Edgar or is that not a smoke Edgar? I'm going to continue trying to push up here, because at least I have these islands for cover. If I do come into contact, see where the Elbing is. Okay, cool. I know where that is. Satsuma's been spotted. And there's going to be the Edgar again, trying to keep him spotted. I shoot at the Edgar there, because why not? He's not going to get around to hit me. Whatever. Doesn't really do much, but at least he's now a little bit concerned with where I am, which is fine. So I'm trying to bait him, if he is radar, to utilize his radar, essentially, while I'm behind that rock there. Riley's kind of in a unique spot as well, but he smoked there. This is absolutely blessed. He smoked 5 kilometers away from a Benham that he knew was there. It's absolutely blessed technology, and we appreciate him for doing that. So I'm just going to torp randomly into the smoke. I probably should have led those other torps down maybe a little bit farther, that second one, which would have been a thing. But yeah, Benham gameplay here, really difficult. Getting into that there, and I think we're going to land some torps here in the Edgar. There's 2, there's 3, and a double flood, so he's down 36k. Probably not too excited about that, and that's fine. We'll let that be. I do have my div mate and a Dyson there to back me up, as well as we have this Petro here too, who has now started to push up, realizing what's going on. So again, really happy, fun times there. The Edgar then decides to shoot, because I think he's just frustrated with what I've done to him. And Riley just gets spotted too. Petro absolutely blaps him. Again, not a whole lot of awareness there from that Edgar player, so, your standard super ship gameplay. Now I have the Satsuma spotted here, and I'm just going to continue you know, doing DD stuff, that's super, super hard. Spotting the Satsuma for my team. And Riley's doing the brunt of the work here. If you look at where she's positioned there in her Yugumo from a spotting standpoint. And she's got a little bit harder cut out now with the L being in contact with her. But she does have the Petro and our very, very good friend Mr. Rad backing her up as well. So Riley's putting in work there. Again, in another torp boat, this is, I don't know, fairly easy gameplay, but just kind of goes to show what sort of, and the Petro's radar in there too to help out, what sort of impact a destroyer can have with literally, I hit 6 keys here this whole game. Super hard. Yeah, just not dying in the first couple minutes of the game and thinking out what you can and can't do. I'm looking over there, you know, Stalingrad's way off in the distance. A little concerned with the Hindenburg if I were to potentially get spotted by them or just get spotted in general. As mentioned too, you're going to see I make a huge mistake here and I say it while I'm streaming because I'm like, oh crap, I thought he was cutting out at one point. There's a particular ship that I end up eating some damage from, but then we end up killing him. And just because brain dead gameplay that involved me not dying. So I'm kind of trying to see where the Hindenburg's going to go and if I'm going to be able to get torps on him. I am out of torp range by a slight kilometer there on the Ohio. Not too concerned with him. I'm going to continue trying to spot this Satsuma and everything else here. I'm kind of set up to put some fairly fun, wonderful torpedoes into this Satsuma here. Fairly confident he's going to turn slightly away, so we lead those over a little bit because, you know, Satsuma's fairly slow. And that's what we're going to do. There's a chance these torps are going to hit both the Satsuma and maybe the Hindenburg. We'll see, you never know. And now we're going to pull the old Missy Elliott and we're going to flip it and reverse it and now torp off the other side. Kind of a unique feature of the Venom, having the torps be able to be on both sides like this. I am now essentially spotting here for my team, which is pretty good. And this is just more wonderful torp boat technology here. Absolutely blessed. I look and I open up on the Venom here. Unfortunately, we don't really get anything. I didn't really lead that well. So that is what it is, and I smoke to try to avoid the secondaries that I'm inevitably probably going to take here. More torps into the Sat. Unfortunately for the Satsuma, he kind of had to slow down as the Hindenburg, you know, did a thing there and kind of blocked him. So yeah, Satsuma's probably going to eat some more torps here. Again, really, really difficult technology here and gameplay. We now pick up 3 more torps, and that is going to be a permanent flood on the Satsuma. I could have just sat in my smoke there and got a fire on him too, but my torps are already up here. So we decide to get out of the smoke there and get some more torps spread there. Kind of torping around, looking, seeing that there's an Iowa too. These torps might end up hitting the Iowa if they don't hit the Satsuma because they kind of are at range, so whatever that is, what it is. The whole time the Hindenburg must not have pressed his Hydra button, which is thoroughly blessed for me, and I greatly appreciate that. And again, we are back to the finest Missy Elliott technology as we look to torp into this Iowa and maybe the Yamato if the Yamato turns out again. Riley goes down there to the Hindenburg. She was in the thick of it there. That is what it is. She did a great job. Get some torps here into the Iowa. We love that for us. And yeah, this is just basic torp boat gameplay 101. I'm already up to 61k spotting and 132k damage. And really, really difficult. Yeah, now the Yamato's turned in front of the Iowa there, so Yamato was meat shield for Iowa. Love that for him. We get some more torps over here. This is the mistake that I make. I kind of lose track in the midst of the cluster of boats here where the Venenza is, and I'm talking in chat, just goofing around, having a silly time. And I get too close to the Venezia. Whatever. It is what it is. It happens. I think I'm realizing it now. I'm like, oh shit. And I was kind of hoping he was going to turn. He didn't. Whatever. It happens. So I'm going to eat some damage here from the Venenzia, which, again, he knows I'm here. Elbing is clearly aware that I'm here, too. So yeah, that hurts. Now I'm just kind of trying to run away from the Venens because, it could definitely hurt me here. I'm 0.1 away from, not dying here to the vents. There you go, it went dark. Pick up another torp on the vents. Absolutely wonderful. We love that for us. Kind of look at where he's going. I'm figuring that he's probably going to turn up. Turn up for what? Yeah. So 210k there, 73k spotting. Very difficult gameplay. Again, I just didn't die, and you can look at the impact that we had for our team here. I put torps kind of thinking if he flattens out, I would have torps on him that way, or if he turned out, I would have torps on him both ways, so you guys can kind of see why I spread those wide. He was at a bit of a precipice for if he was going to turn or not. We continue to just do work from a spotting standpoint. Venenzia probably thinks that he's safe. There were 2 more spreads. He's probably like, hey, it's pretty good. I'm good there, right? Pick up another thing there. Yeah, victory's in sight down to the last 2 boats here. Again, super difficult gameplay here. I'm saying that sarcastically, but sometimes, again, as a destroyer player, like just staying alive is the best thing you can do for your team there. And we pick up the kill on the Venenzia. There's 234k damage. Game clearly at hand. They have a whopping 5 points. I'd like to say that, between my torps and the spotting there, we had a bit of an impact there. And it's all over but for the Hindenburg. I'm kind of just looking over here into Narnia talking on my stream because that was super difficult for me to do, even with making what should have been like a terrible mistake. Their div did well. One of them got a Confederate and a Witherer, and they got their strike team, so their div tried. But I mean, it's the technology of not dying in the first 3 minutes as a destroyer player. So if you're new to the game or new to destroyer gameplay, just don't die in the first 3 minutes and it ends up being a blowout like this. It's incredible. Imagine it. We're picking up spotting damage there momentarily on the Hindenburg. Again, who the hell knows how that works anymore? Because I honestly don't feel I'm the closest to him. I'm thinking probably the small one was, but we did pick up some spotting there on the Hindenburg, and he's just getting farmed out. So magical gameplay here. 20 torpedoes hit 11 floods, 93k spotting, 250k, tanked, which is whatever. Hindenburg picks up a kill there, gets the time extension, I suppose, for our team. But yeah, just ban him. Easy as, you could ever want for a boat to play. There's the assistant in destruction on the Venom. Pretty good. Yeah, and the game's over just like that. I don't know. I don't know what more to say. That was wonderful technology. There we go. We did stuff in the Venom. Wind up with only 2k base, but if you look, our team just did, and they performed very, very well. They had some solid and good players on the enemy team too. But we had, if you look, 1-2 here from me and the Smallin, and then Riley was in the thick of it, which was actually really, really clutch, allowing our Petro and Rad to work over other things, as well as giving eyes for the team, so that they could position themselves appropriately, as well as myself with the spotting there, and kind of putting the enemy team in a bit of a bottleneck. Clutch sometimes, I was probably really, really passive with my positioning. It worked out with the early kill there on the Edgar. Or not necessarily kill, but early torps on the Edgar that led to his death. And it's just one of those things, not all the time is it the most important thing to position yourself where you're just gonna, YOLO rush in. was really passive there because, I'm in a torp boat. I would have loved to have seen the enemy Fletchers. Again, as a destroyer player, I probably feel, fairly confident in my chances there against another DD that's clearly similar. I would have maybe struggled a little bit with the Elbing depending on how the Elbing played it. I don't think I would have let myself get spotted there though. But that is what it is. So yeah, just kind of blessed MM, and I mean, it definitely could have went other ways if I were to have played this differently. But just I looked at the beginning. One of the best things you can do is hit the tab button and see what you're against, and as you learn what each boat's capabilities are, figure out what the best approach is. And for me, I thought that was the best approach, and the results kind of speak for themselves. That was super easy. That was one of the easiest games in a destroyer that I've ever had, and it's yeah, just hitting the tab button and seeing what I'm against. I mean, uh, I don't know what more I can say. Just don't YOLO in your DDs. Don't. Again, I think I talked about it last time I had a destroyer game featured here. The chances of your team losing if your destroyers are out within the first 3 minutes go up so much. Um, and it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. Just don't die for no reason. I almost let myself die, but that's just because I was laughing and having a good time on my stream. But we still recovered from that just by knowing what my detect was. Imagine. Uh, there's my humor for the day. Might be on here streaming in a little bit. We'll see what happens. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Lentini Lindbergh. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thanks for hanging out. And again, I'll be streaming at some point on Twitch again. If you aren't following me there, check that out. I do cool stuff from time to time. But yeah, happy Super Bowl Sunday, happy Puppy Bowl. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great start to your work week. I'll catch you all later. See you guys.